August 2025 local government elections that was held in Rivers State. Good morning, gentlemen of the press. We are the Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness, a coalition of over 30 civil societies and non-governmental organizations, and we were duly accredited by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RSIEC, to observe the 30th August 2025 local government elections in Rivers State. We are here today to present a comprehensive report as observed in the pre-election, election, and post-election of what transpired on the 30th August 2025 in Rivers State. We are also here to make a proclamation on the integrity test conducted by our coalition of the exercise that took place on the 30th of August 2025 in Rivers State. First and foremost, we must highlight the extraordinary circumstances under which these elections were conducted. Following the Supreme Court's nullification of the previous election, a fresh poll was mandated to take place amidst a state of emergency in Rivers State. The state of emergency was declared by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, by virtue of Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and the invocation of the Emergency Powers Act 1961, number 1. As gazetted in the High Court of Lagos State, this act legally empowered the government to take extraordinary measures to restore public order and safety, including mandating the RSIEC to conduct the elections within an extraordinary tight 30-day time frame. This was a task we, as a coalition of civil society organizations in Nigeria, we considered it as a Herculean task. As elections of this magnitude, covering 4,442 polling units across the state, 319 wards, and 23 local government areas in Rivers State. This would have ordinarily taken any federal electoral management body at least 1 year to prepare for. However, under the exemplary and visionary leadership of the RSIEC chairman, Dr. Michael Ode, and his erudite team of commissioners, the commission achieved this milestone within the stipulated period. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria an election of such magnitude is achieved within a short space of time. Dr. Ode and his team demonstrated an unprecedented level of professionalism, competence, capacity, and commitment to the democratic process. Our observations, conducted by a total of 830 observers, recruited and trained at the RSIEC headquarters on the fundamentals, that is, the do's and don'ts of election observation, were deployed across the state. The observers deployed to the field were able to report to our situation room observations online and real time, and these reports were meticulously documented in our observation report, which was submitted to the RSIEC headquarters in Port Harcourt. I will now share the key highlights of our findings and observations. The pre-election observations. We observed that the campaigns by the dominant political parties, that is, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, and the All Progressive Congress, the APC, were purely issue-based campaigns. This is different from previous campaigns where candidates attack personalities and individuals instead of focusing on their manifestos. We commend these candidates and their political parties for their commitment to an issue-based campaign. This was a significant and welcome departure from the way it used to be in the past. Again, we observed a complete absence of pre-election related violence, tension, or fear, which allowed citizens to go about their normal activities freely. We also observed that the movement, we took inventory and we observed the movement of all the sensitive and non-sensitive materials, election materials, from RSIEC headquarters in Aba Road, Port Harcourt, to the local government areas, then to the RAC centers, and finally to the polling units on the election day. The logistical preparations were flawless. The distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, even to difficult riverine terrains, was well managed and it was timely as well. Now, the election day. We witnessed the early commencement of voting activities across most polling units with presiding officers, assistant presiding officers, poll clerks, and voters, and all the other ad hoc staff seen around polling units as early as between 8 and 9:30 a.m. The accreditation and voting process started promptly and was orderly, a testament to the efficient training and planning by RSIEC. Again, the reported voter apathy, we also observed that immediately the election commenced, there was this press, a particular press station that reported that there was a high level of voter apathy. But that report was not correct because the turnout was initially slow in commercial areas like Rumola, and that was where they captured. In Rumola, you don't have residential places there. So as a result of the fact that people had to walk, a long distance, since a movement is restricted, voting generally did not pick up, as early. That is, the number of, the turnout was initially very slow, but towards the middle of the day, it picked up very well, and the turnout was very impressive. A landmark observation was the complete absence of electoral malpractice. There was no thuggery, no ballot box snatching, and there was no buying of votes. This is the first time to record these observations, at least in the recent past. We all know the hydra-headed case of elections in Nigeria. And one of the major factors that has bedeviled the Nigerian electoral system is vote buying. Vote buying is even very difficult to depict, to track, because they are bringing in sophistication when it comes to vote buying. But we were surprised that the local government elections that took place in Rivers State on the 30th of August 2025, there was zero vote buying. At least there was no vote buying, across the state. We commend the law enforcement agencies for their professionalism and adherence to the rule of engagement. They were friendly and non-intrusive, ensuring the security of the process without molesting voters or observers or those that were assigned on election duty. The outcome of this election, where the ruling party, the People's Democrat, I take that again. The outcome of this election, where the ruling party, that is the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, secured 3 chairmanship seats, and the opposition, the APC, won 20 seats, is a resounding testament to the transparency and fairness of the process. It is a powerful demonstration of democracy at its best. The result, uninfluenced by incumbency, speaks volumes about the credibility and integrity tests of the electoral process that transpired in Rivers State on the 30th of August, 2025. We also commend the electorates of Rivers State, for their peaceful disposition and being law-abiding, to both visitors and around the, before the election and after the election. Again, one of the fundamentals we also observed was the fact that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission was able to pay all the ad hoc staff. As we speak, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission has paid the presiding officers, assistant presiding officers, and the poll clerks. This is unusual, especially as it affects Rivers State, where after local government elections, you have some ad hoc staff being paid half payment. Some of them were not even paid at all. Some of them, they say, is percentage or not, one story or the other, where it will even deteriorate to a breakdown of law and order, where the youths that actually, participated as ad hoc staff would have to demonstrate, blocking major highways and all that. But in this particular election, 1 week after the local government elections, all the ad hoc staff, we can testify with Port Harcourt City local government, that's Falga, being the last to receive their payment. All the ad hoc staff, as we speak, have been paid and have been paid in full, directly to their account. This is a very commendable one that is actually a different scenario from what it used to be in Rivers State. In light of these observations, and these aforementioned observations, we have made a crucial recommendation. The exemplary approach adopted by RSIEC in the election should be adopted as a national model for effective and credible electoral management in Nigeria. Finally, as a coalition of RSIEC accredited observer organizations, we hereby make this proclamation that the August 30th, 2025 local government elections actually held across the 4,442 polling units, the 319 electoral wards, and the 23 local government areas in Rivers State. And this election was transparent, this election was free, this election was fair, and it was credible. And in all, this election is consistent with the extant laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. The thing is not. Call that guy for me.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. You are